Hi, welcome to this week's episode of State Champs Chat. I'm Stephanie.
I'm Lauren.
And we're back after a long holiday weekend. Did you enjoy your 4th?
I had a great 4th. How about you?
Good. It was great. And remember, this is your show, guys. We're here to talk about youth sports and what's trending. So first, we're going to talk about something huge that was trending over the weekend. The USA women's soccer team defeated Japan in the World Cup.
They did, and it was an epic game. 4 goals were scored by U.S. in the first 16 minutes of the game, which is insane. A hat-trick scored by Carly Lloyd, who led the team to victory.
Yeah, final score of 5-2. And the controversial thing about this win was they only got $2 million total as a team for winning the Women's World Cup.
Which is crazy because Germany got $34 million.
Yeah, the men's team for the Men's World Cup. I don't know. I can't even believe it. They're protesting it a lot right now, all their parades, and all the players are trying to, talk about equal rights for women. I don't know how that they could make this better, though.
I know. I don't, unless they give them more money, I guess. But even people like Hope Solo, the goalie for the U.S. team, was tweeting out things like it should be equality.
Yeah.
So.
And I wonder what FIFA has to say about it.
I do.
Not that they don't have enough drama going on in their lives right now. It's probably the least of their concerns.
Definitely. I bet they'll release a statement probably in the next couple weeks. But it's crazy to think about that. $32 extra million.
Yeah, it must have to do with sponsorships. I'm sure the Men's World Cup might just have more money going into it.
But if you think about it, any women's sport versus men's sport, men usually bring in more income for the team, for the sponsors, for everyone else. So I can see where it kind of makes sense, but at the same time, with such a rise in
2015
equality,
people.
It's 2015.
And it was also a huge win for the USA because they've kind of had a big rivalry with Japan.
They have had a huge rivalry. So in 2011, Japan defeated USA in the World Cup on PKs. 2012, USA defeated Japan in the Olympics, and they won the gold medal.
Yeah, went home with the gold.
We won again this year, go USA, and next year actually is the Summer Olympics, so we'll see what happens then. Maybe there'll be
insane rivalry.
Yeah, maybe Japan and USA will battle it out once again.
Yeah, I can't even imagine how that felt to be in that game with that rivalry.
It's crazy. But go USA. Perfect celebration for 4th of July weekend.
Yes, it was perfect timing. And speaking of the USA women's soccer team, our first athlete of the week this week has got to be Carly Lloyd.
It has to be Carly Lloyd. Scored a hat trick in 16 minutes, which is insane. That's the fastest 3 goals ever scored by a player in the World Cup final game and in the World Cup in general.
2 of those goals were in the first 5 minutes.
In the first 5 minutes of the game. It's crazy. And then her 3rd goal was from halfway. It was from the halfway line, which is crazy. She just booted it up there, chipped it over the goalie's head. Goalie couldn't get to it.
And they asked her in an interview, what's your secret to success? She said, I've been training my butt off for 12 years, which I thought was pretty cool.
She's so awesome. And also, I think she's a very classy player. When Abby Wambach came on the field in the 80th minute to play her last minutes on the U.S. World Team, I mean, who knows if she's going to play in the Olympics next year.
Yeah.
But at least for the World Cup, Carly Lloyd actually gave her the captain band that was on her arm, which I think is so cool. And it shows how close the team is and how great of a player that she is.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was trending all over Twitter.
Yeah.
Love it. Our second athlete of the week this week is once again, I think he's been our athlete of the week before, but it's got to be Grant Fisher from Grand Blanc High School. He is once again he's a 2-time Gatorade National Runner of the Year and once again going to the 13th annual Gatorade High School Athlete of the Year ceremony in Hollywood. He finished his high school career as the #1 cross-country runner in the nation.
He's amazing. And actually, I got the chance to get to know him pretty well. His sister and I actually played soccer together in college. But he's an unreal runner.
Yeah, and I did a story on him in the fall. His attitude, I remember interviewing him saying, they also get to walk on the ESPYs next week on the red carpet when they go to this ceremony. And I said, what was that like going on to the ESPYs and seeing all these athletes? And he's like, it was the most awesome thing, like looking and seeing all these people that had no idea who I was, but I knew who they were, and now I'm like thinking, they all know who you are.
Yeah, they're all gonna know who he is if they don't know him now, which is crazy.
He's a nominee for the Gatorade Male High School Athlete of the Year, and LeBron and Dwight Howard are previous winners of that.
Which is so crazy to think what's in his future and what lies ahead for him.
Yeah, he's going to be an Olympic athlete, I think.
For sure. Congrats, Grant Fisher. You're awesome.
And he's from right here in Michigan, which is pretty cool. Now we're going to talk about a hot topic that we've touched on a lot on State Champs Chat, but it's been in the news a lot. Another domestic violence issue has popped up. The Florida State quarterback Andre Johnson, was released from the team Monday night after a video surfaced of him punching a woman in the face at a Tallahassee bar.
Yeah, the 19-year-old FSU quarterback punched a 21-year-old blonde girl after she kind of started the fight. She was trying to aggressively get past her to the bar.
There was some altercation, and she put her hand up, but he hit her. And he was charged with misdemeanor battery and turned himself into the police on June 30th. And now on July 2nd decided to plead not guilty. But FSU said he is indefinitely suspended. I think especially after issues that they had with Jameis Winston, the former quarterback, that they had to react to this.
Exactly, and Jimbo Fisher has definitely had to deal with this a lot between Jameis Winston, between their new quarterback. And I just think that it's almost a no-tolerance thing, especially with everything that's going on right now, with the whole Ray Rice scandal and everything else that was going on. I just think that people are starting to put their foot down and
especially
say,
with college athletes, too. I think it's even more so than the NFL that, these are kids still. And I think it's appropriate the way that the coach reacted. They can't just ignore it. However, now his lawyer is saying that the woman used a racial slur towards him. And he's saying, Johnson's saying, I'm not making an excuse for what happened, and he issued an apology and is now apparently volunteering at a shelter for battered women. But it seems a little bit like an excuse to me. It's like, why even need to explain? Obviously, something was said that you didn't like. Duh.
I know.
Otherwise, you wouldn't have, punched them.
Yeah, even if there was a racial slur used, it's never okay for a man to hit a woman. And I think that the fact that it was probably escalated with alcohol and that kind of a thing, it just wasn't a good situation.
His lawyer's saying, he's issued an apology, he's volunteering. This shouldn't be something that he pays for the rest of his life. But there's too many cases of this happening.
It's on his record now. It's on his record. And we'll see what FSU decides for the rest of the season or if they're ever going to let him back on the team. But I don't know. Bad decisions lead to bad consequences.
Especially right now with so many cases of this happening. It's, I think that they have to do something about it.
Definitely. I think Jimbo Fisher was definitely right in suspending him.
Yeah, agreed. Speaking of college football, University of Michigan is getting back together with Nike.
Yes, just do it. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, we're both pretty pumped. Michigan parted ways with Nike in 2007, but it announced Monday that starting in 2016, it's going to have an 11-year contract with Nike, split ways with Adidas, and U of M will have the option to make that a 15-year contract if they want to.
Which I think is so awesome. Just in 2008, they switched from Nike to Adidas. But players like Tom Brady, players like Charles Woodson, they all wore Nike. And did you see how good the team was back then?
Yeah.
I am so excited to see
It's
what
funny
lies
because
ahead.
a lot of people, have made comments. It just so happened that when they went with Adidas, it kind of coincided with the Michigan football program going a little bit downhill from what it was in the past. It's interesting to see what will happen with that. It'll be for all 31 athletic teams, and it also includes the Michael Jordan brand for the men's and women's basketball teams.
They get to wear Jordans.
Awesome. So
that
cool.
is so cool. I think they're all really excited about it. And I think it's cool that this legendary program, the Michigan program, which is well known across all of the USA, gets to be paired with this legendary brand.
Most wins in college football history, biggest stadium. Everyone's saying this is an iconic matchup.
I know.
I mean,
and who knows? Does it have something to do with Harbaugh? Do you think him coming?
I think it might. It's another example of the Michigan brand. I think their brand is at an all-time high right now, almost with him coming on board, and I think it makes sense.
I definitely do. I'm so excited about this to buy gear just to even go to the games for us.
Now we're upset that when we were in college, it was Adidas, and it wasn't the same yellow color because Nike has maize patented.
Yeah. So it was technically yellow?
Yeah. I didn't like the Adidas yellow. It wasn't the same.
Yeah. But they still have to do Adidas for another year. That doesn't start till 2016,
poor Adidas.
2017
Now
season.
everyone's so pumped about Nike.
I
but
know.
apparently this is coming down to money too. That was the big thing. I think they were making around $7 or $8 million a year with Adidas, and the numbers haven't been released yet. I think in a couple days they're going to be released officially. It's supposedly going to be around $10 million, the deal,
wow.
which I think would be the biggest contract.
I definitely think so.
In college football. So really interesting. I also think it's interesting that 8 teams in the Big Ten wear Nike. So I don't know. I think it makes sense.
It does make sense. Big Ten's a Nike brand. So it's really exciting. We'll see what comes from it and what the uniforms look like.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they look like and see if it helps our team perform better. We'll see. We're not biased at all.
Go Blue.
Now it's time for our clip of the week. Roger Federer. Everyone knows how amazing he is.
He's unreal. He is a legend in the tennis world.
He really is. And this was his second round match in the Wimbledon. And he does this unreal shot from between his legs.
A trick shot, yeah. He does a little lobber right over the net. The guy hits it back, and he's just sitting there right through his legs, lobs it back over.
Social media went crazy. Everyone went crazy. I mean, what can't the guy do?
I know. He's insane. People were saying, like,
he's a wizard.
He's a wizard.
That's what social media was saying. They were tweeting at him, "Are you real?"
Yeah.
And a lot of theories were that he's a wizard.
Some people were questioning him as deity even, which is crazy.
Crazy. So funny, but unbelievable athlete. And he should probably be another one of our athletes of the week just for that move.
And it's a really fun clip to watch.
Yeah. If you haven't been watching the Wimbledon, it's pretty cool. I like watching it.
Tune in.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in this week to State Champs Chat. We want to hear from you. Make sure to tweet at us your ideas, what you want us to talk about. We're here to talk about youth sports and what's trending, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.